Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. This is the third attempt at doing this, viewers, because we've tried out, Jake and I, a new autocue system that makes me read the autocue and reminds me of old John Virgo, because he used to read the autocue the way I just did it. Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming on the show today. Moves down, comma, full stop, take a breath, move on, new paragraph, scroll down. That was me just trying to do it. So now, back on here by the seat of my pants, you are watching Ustream TV, a little bit of which you are now seeing on YouTube for 5 or 6 minutes, and then over to Ustream, which will be on tonight at 6:30, and it stays on there for a while so you can have a little look, and they can't cancel us on our own station. Don't you worry about that. Well, here we go, folks. Once again, race is rearing its ugly head. You think it goes away, but it doesn't. It doesn't. I saw Ashley Banjo in the paper again today. He said he couldn't come out of his house for 2 weeks after he did that dance. Well, get a life, Ashley. It wasn't that bad. You know, people like you. Ish. So, here's someone that's in the news a lot. I've got his name here. His name is amyl nitrate. He gets right up my nose. No, his name is Amol Rajan. That was racist, that joke I did about him, because he's, I'll tell you who he is. He's the latest little royal basher, isn't he? He's a little self-centered little man. He once called Prince Philip a racist buffoon. Well, I mean, and he's this guy now, this little guy, you would see him at these do's somewhere with a glass of champagne in his hand and a big tall blonde. He's doing his best for his woke masters, the BBC, to belittle and embarrass the royal family, which means he belittles and embarrasses all of us in this country. Well, perhaps not some of the arseholes, but me, for one. And I can't say too much about this Mr. Nitrate, because he is protected species, of course. Journalist, I mean. Another BBC journalist, listen to this, I've got a name written down here, because these are all BBC. If you work for the BBC, you have a name that's worth a fortune in Scrabble, don't you? Unpronounceable to certain people. Here we go. Her name is Tina Daly. Tina Dahelly. Again. She was in a restaurant with her pal. Listen to this. And she's wrote to the restaurant because she couldn't face up to it on the day. She's had to write to this restaurant and complain. Not about the food, not like those poor bastards that were nearly poisoned, or one was poisoned in some pub in the middle of nowhere because the arsehole didn't know how to cook fucking shepherd's pie. Where'd they find these staff? Bring back the Eastern Europeans so we can eat. Anyway, she was in a restaurant with 4 people who she describes as white middle-aged. You know where this is going, don't you? They were talking to each other, and as they were talking to each other, she says they repeatedly used the P word. Yeah, weren't even talking to her, talking to each other. So they were apparently talking about that cricketer, you know, the one that's a wealthy cricketer now. I suppose, were they talking about him? They would have used the C word, really, not the P word, surely. No. The P word, she says, was used. So more suicidal depression. I heard someone say the P word, put me right off me bean salad. Anyway, they weren't talking to her, these people, right? They were talking to each other. Now, here's the thing. So she sat at the next table. This bloke and his mate were talking to their wives, or basically talking to each other, and their wives are sitting there thinking, why don't you shut up? We really just want to talk about Love Island and shopping. And anyway, this bloke went on about the P word, right. And so now this woman's reporting it. It was awful. They said the P word out loud. They kept saying it. I wanted to complain, but I was too upset. Could have moved, couldn't you? No. It's not about you being upset. It's about you having control. How dare those middle-aged white men say the P word? And do you realise, Mr. Reilly, that by you saying they said the P word, am I actually saying in my mind P word, or am I saying what the P word stands for? So now, can you say, oh, I was driving down the road and a couple of P words came along. I said, excuse me, you P word, don't you come round here with your P word foods and things like that. Isn't it the same? Aren't you causing as much shit by repeating the P word? Okay? You really are a stupid T-word woman, aren't you? I think maybe if you don't like listening to people saying the P word, you could say, excuse me, I don't like to listen to that. Or you could move away. Or you could have a couple of pages in the paper to make yourself even famous. Do you know what you should have done? Sorry, I don't like your language, I'm going for a P. That would have done it, wouldn't it? But it does bring the question, abbreviating the word, is it as bad as saying the word? The world is full of A's, isn't it? And you've just said arsehole. So do you know what I mean? Anyway, talking of which, Michael Burke, that well-known lovey, he's come good in my mind. Michael Burke, great name, mate. You'd change that, wouldn't you, to Fred Burke. He can be a bit of a T with twinges of C, but occasionally he says something that's really W. And he's been talking about Radio 4 and how freedom of speech is now under threat. Well, he would say that, wouldn't he? Because, Michael, you are a MAWM, a middle-aged white male. Oh, actually, you're not. You're OWM, aren't you? Old white male, like ME. Talking of MAWN, Trump and Farage. The new Ant and Dec, weren't they fantastic? You forget just how much bollocks is going on with Sleepy Joe and all these funny people. Boris is paddling around in his jacuzzi. I mean, I don't know where we're going in this country. It's gone to absolute ratchet. But Trump and Farage, the new double act, bring it on and piss off those lefties. See you on Ustream. Oh, don't forget, we've still got 25% off annual sign-ups. So come on, you can come and have 25% off, and I think you get 7 days free. I don't know the deal. Get on there and have a look. Jim, just pawn in the game of life. Fuck, I said pawn. P word.